what is happening in Nedge Game Dude here, and I think that Bloober Team have essentially just failed to remake Silent Hill 2 before finishing the remake of Silent Hill 2. And you might be like, okay, isn't that incredibly harsh? To which I say, yeah, it absolutely is. But the thing is, you don't come out remaking a beloved game without considering what it is that you're doing. And I think this title here kind of says it all. Silent Hill 2 remake will be faithful with adjustments to certain areas. So pretty much, there was a interview with Anna Jasinska, who was approached about the topic in an interview, and she said that she would faithfully stick to the traditional story canon and not stray away from the original concept, which is all well and good until Bloober Team has some ideas on how to make the peculiar scare factors more appealing to the contemporary audience. Adjustments for the sake of modernizing also came up. So the quote goes like this: as aforementioned, we take a very safe approach to any changes. We remain faithful to the original title. Nevertheless, we are applying adjustments to certain areas where things need modernizing due to the passage of time. Now I hope this is purely only in the gameplay area, because if at all, given how Japanese the game can be in terms of its story, if at all they change anything into the story, they failed to remake this game. That we should not be excited for it. And that does come off as incredibly harsh, but the problem is, Bloober Team have not really made good horror games. They're talking about making things scary, and yet it just, they haven't made any really good games. A large amount of the internet, at least from what I could have seen, have been tepidly worried about this whole situation, about, of all teams, Bloober Team remaking Silent Hill 2. They have made games like The Medium, which wasn't particularly great. In fact, it was widely panned. They made, what's it called? Blair Witch. That also was universally panned. And then, of course, we also have Observer was probably one of their better games, but even then, it was okay at best. So if the best thing that they've made was an okay at best game, and everything else has been widely panned negatively speaking, under what circumstance would anyone ever have any confidence that this game is going to be good? All they had to do was remake the actual content that is already there without making any changes. Taking a very safe approach to changing means not making any changes at all. I am worried because when I say they, I mean Bloober Team, don't really know how to write a story. And that is the nicest way of saying, don't make any changes. So, even if it was just the janky third-person camera, I was about to say 3D camera, third-person camera, that still would be okay. Like, the jank is part of Silent Hill's almost like, it's there. It helps kind of with its identity a little bit. But if they were to make Silent Hill first person, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. In fact, that would feel like a step forward as well. But it depends on how everything is put together, and every last part of the game is important. The story, the gameplay, the perspective of the character, the bad thing that the main character did, how everything affects everyone. Like, it just, these are all things that make a Silent Hill game, because all Silent Hill protagonists have some sort of secret that they hide away because they're looking for someone in a very foggy town, and there's some cultists involved somewhere. Like, when you remove the cultists, which is kind of like a really weird thing that was in Silent Hill for the longest time, it still isn't quite Silent Hill without those freaky people. Even though, like, with Resident Evil, you can't have a Resident Evil without the Umbrella Corporation. There's the same difference there. I am very worried about whatever changes are made, because it's more of a case of guilty until proven innocent, and they're guilty for making a change. Whether or not that actually pans out well for them, we can only tell until we have the game in our hands. So until then, I am cautiously optimistic, but I am still looking forward to it. Just make the game good. That's all we can really ask for. I'm gonna be replaying Silent Hill 2 on PS3 anyways, as part of the God Awful HD collection, and I might end up actually streaming that later on in the year, so hopefully that'll be a fun time going back through the game. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.